Well, good morning and good day to everybody. Now, our discussion will start from electric current, quite a vast chapter. You will remember that in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the definition of current, how it flows, what will be its units, what is potential difference, Ohm's law, mobility, the various concepts we are going to discuss. Well, electric current is the flow of charge, or flow of charge is called electric current, and the rate of flow of charge in a circuit represents the magnitude of electric current in that circuit. It is generally represented by I. If dq is the amount of charge flowing in the circuit in time dt, then the magnitude of electric current is given as I is equal to dq by dt. dq and dt, they indicate the smallness of that particular physical quantity. The direction of electric current is always taken to the opposite to the direction of flow of electrons or the direction of flow of positive charges in a conductor. So that is taken as direction of electric current. So additional, you can understand that basically current is flowing in any cross section of the wire, and wire is supposed to be in a cylindrical form if we view them microscopically. So two corners, two extremities are circles, and if we cut the wire from middle, two circles will be generated. So area of cross section of the wire, that will be indicated from that circle, that is area of cross section is pi r square. Electric current is a scalar quantity. SI unit of electric current is coulomb per second or ampere. Dimensions of electric current will be taken as m0, l0, t0, a1. If n is the number of free electrons passing through a point in t seconds, then the total charge passing through that point in t seconds is q is equal to ne. This is the quantization equation, and n is the number of free electrons, q is the total charge, E is the electronic charge. So I is equal to q over t can be represented as ne over t. Then we can make the subject of equation as n, that is n is equal to 1 over 1.6 10 to the power minus 19, and that is calculated as 6.25 10 to the power 18 electrons. So when we use the function as it over E, we put the values and we get the value of number of electrons. Moreover, when we speak free electrons, basically we are indicating that every atom of that conductor has outer shell, and the electrons present in that outer shell, that is supposed to be the free electron or the valence electron. The number of electrons flowing through a conductor in t seconds is given by function n is equal to it over E, and if we compute the value of I as 1 ampere, t as 1 second, E is electronic charge, then the number of electrons can be calculated. That is what our example, how many electrons is flowing per second through any cross section of wire if it carries a current of 1 ampere. So we use the equation it over E. The value of I we take as 1 ampere, time as 1 second, and electronic charge 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. The number comes to be about 6.25 into 10 to the power 18. Now, if we slightly analyze this number 6.25, we don't find that there will be a decimal amount, or we can say a fractional amount of the number of electrons, because n is equal to plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3. So, if we will use the concept of significant figures, we find that decimal part must be removed. So, exactly it will become 6.25, or it will become about 625 into 18. 625 into 10 to the power 16. Now our question is how many electrons pass through heater wire in 1 minute, if current is flowing. Current flowing is 8 ampere. Again, we have to use the function N is equal to IT over E. Current can be taken as 8 ampere time 1 minute converted into 60 seconds, and then we divide it by electronic charge, and the number comes to be 3 into 10 to the power 21. Next, we come towards the Ohm's law, which is quite important in the whole of the electrical calculations. So, basically, Ohm's law is related to voltage and current. If the physical condition of conductor, such as temperature, the pressure, and density, remain same, then potential difference across the ends of conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing in it. That is, V is proportional to I, or V is equal to Ri, where R is constant called resistance of conductor. We can write this equation also as R is equal to V over I. Ohm's law is valid for all metal conductors and alloy conductors. But out of the two, the best will be the alloy conductors. Metal conductors also conduct current, alloy conductors also conduct current, but preferably we consider alloy conductors. The reason being that its alpha is less as compared to conductors. Ohm's law is not obeyed in case of thermionic tubes, crystal rectifiers, semiconductors, transistors, ionized gases, etc. You can remember that basically Ohm's law is valid for only those materials which obey Ohm's law. The graph between V and I will always be a straight line. Voltage is taken on x-axis, whereas current is taken on y-axis. As voltage will increase, the current will also increase, and V will be proportional to I. Now we can take an example of the Ohm's law application. We can take a wire of any length. However, in this question, in a wire of length 4 meter and diameter 6 mm, a current of 120 amperes is passed. The potential difference across the wire is found to be 18 volts. What is the resistance of the wire? So it is direct application of Ohm's law, that is V is equal to IR, or R is equal to V over I. Voltage is being provided and current is also provided. Here the length and diameter, they are not changing. So R is equal to V over I, and result comes to 0.15 ohm.